Hello there, my name is Solmaz, and you are listening to Tabling Thoughts podcast. In this podcast, I talk about my experiences as a relationship coach and psychotherapist. The little things that I noticed in my clients' day to day lives, which may affect the quality of their lives and relationships enormously, and for some reasons, they don't pay that much of attention to them. As I mentioned, I'm a relationship coach and I also practice as a psychotherapist in Ontario, Canada. In order to get more information about me, you may check my Instagram account, YouTube, or my other podcasts via the links in description. You are listening to another episode of Tabling Thoughts podcast, episode number 15. And in this episode, I'm going to explore a powerful yet often overlooked concept called micro habits. Micro habits are small, seemingly insignificant changes in our daily routines, which can lead to profound transformations over time. Let's dive into how micro habits work, why they are effective, and how you can start implementing them in your life. Let's go with the definition of micro habits. Micro habits are tiny, manageable actions that are easy to implement but when consistently practiced, lead to significant improvements. Unlike traditional habits, which can feel overwhelming, micro habits are designed to be so small that they require minimal motivation and effort. Isn't it interesting? This makes them sustainable and easier to incorporate into daily routines. There is a very interesting science behind microhabits. Research in behavioral psychology supports the effectiveness of microhabits. Studies have shown that small incremental changes are more likely to be maintained over the long term than larger, more ambitious goals. This is because microhabits bypass the brain's resistance to change. Our brains are wired to conserve energy and resist anything that feels like a major effort. By starting small, we trick our brains into accepting new behaviors without triggering resistance. Let's look at some real-life examples of how microhabits have transformed lives. I'm sure you have heard about the book called Atomic Habits. I have a YouTube video about it. I summarized it in a book summit. Atomic Habit, written by James Clear, emphasizes the power of 1% improvements. James shares stories of athletes, artists, and business leaders who have achieved extraordinary success by focusing on tiny gains. For instance, British cycling coach Dave Brailsford implemented a strategy of marginal gains by making small improvements in every aspect of cycling, leading to unprecedented success for British cyclists. In the book called Mini Habits, the author describes how starting with just one push-up a day led to a comprehensive fitness routine. By committing to a goal so small that it seemed almost laughable, the author removed all barriers to starting. Once the habit was established, he found it easy to build on it. Now that we understand the power of micro habits, let's discuss how you can implement them in your own life. Here are some practical steps. The first one could be identifying areas of improvement. So you need to first reflect on areas of your life you want to see change. It could be health, productivity, relationships, or personal growth. Then start small. Choose a micro habit that is so small it feels almost effortless. For example, if you want to start exercising, begin with 1 minute of stretching each day. Or sometimes I even tell my clients, go with dancing with one song, one favorite song a day. The third step could be attach it to an existing routine, which in the Atomic Habit book, James calls it habit stacking. If you already brush your teeth every morning, do your 1 minute of stretching right after. If you're already brewing a coffee every morning, Do your 2 minutes of yoga immediately after. The fourth step is track your progress. Keep a track of your micro habits in a journal or on an app. Seeing your progress can be incredibly motivating. Last but of course not least, celebrate small wins. Acknowledge and celebrate your consistency. Even small wins are worth celebrating and can reinforce your own habits. While micro habits are designed to be easy, you may still face challenges. I'm going to talk about some common obstacles on your way and how to overcome them. The first one could be forgetting. You can use reminders like alarms, sticky notes, or habit tracking apps to ensure you don't forget your micro habits. The second one could be losing motivation. If you find your motivation waning, revisit your why. Why power is the key to consistency. Remind yourself why you started this habit and the benefit it brings. And the third could be impatience. Remember that change takes time. Trust the process and focus on consistency rather than immediate results. One of the most exciting aspects of micro habits is their potential to create a ripple effect. Once you establish one micro habit, it often leads to other positive changes. For example, starting with 1 minute of stretching might lead to a longer exercise routine, improved diet, and better sleep. These small changes compound over time, leading to a significant transformation in your life. So, my friends, micro habits are a powerful tool for self-improvement and setting goals. By focusing on small, manageable changes, you can bypass resistance and create lasting, meaningful transformation in your life. Start today by identifying one micro habit you can implement and watch as it begins to ripple out into other areas of your life. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Tabling Thoughts. I hope you found this discussion on micro habits insightful and inspiring. Remember, big changes often start with small steps. And your first small step was listening to this episode. Until next time, keep improving and stay motivated.